what's going on, everybody? You already know who it is. It's your boy Mikey Savage 21, bringing you another movie review. And today we're going to be looking at the 2016 romantic comedy film known as Why Him? Alright, so as you guys know, if you follow me on social media, which you can do on all the social media platforms at I Am Testify, I actually went to an early screening last night of the film Why Him, thanks to the wonderful people at AMC and at GoFub.com. And I gotta say, it was an amazing experience, and it just kind of amplified the feel of the movie as well. But my general thoughts on the film, I liked it. Now, I want to reference what I mentioned in my tweet last night. I said it was one of the funniest comedies that I've seen. Now, if I had to base it on all the comedies I have seen this year, it would probably fall at number 3 or number 4. Because there were certainly a lot of other films that were funnier than this. Like, I loved Popstar. I thought it was absolutely funny from beginning to end. Same with Deadpool. Even though that's more so of a comic book movie, it still had a lot of comedy in it. So I kind of wrapped that into the comedy section as well. And then, of course, Popstar, like I said, it speaks for itself. It was a mockumentary with Andy Samberg and the rest of the guys from the Lonely Island cast. Now, this film, it was directed by John Hamburg. Most of you might be familiar with him being the director behind the Zoolander films, as well as the hit sensation I Love You Man. I think it was like 2009 when that came out. But he usually has a great rapport of doing these little comedy films. And I actually got to say, he did a fantastic job directing this film. It didn't seem too choppy. It didn't seem too cutty. Now, getting into the actual story, what we have here is Bryan Cranston's character. His daughter has gone off to college in California, and she meets up with this guy, James Franco's character, and she wants them to come out for Christmas to meet him. They meet him. Bryan Cranston character does not like him, kind of rubs him the wrong way. So then he says he wants to have a closer relationship with him because he essentially wants to ask his daughter to marry him. And so he's like, okay, give me a couple of days and I bet I'll win you over. And there we have our overarching plot. Now, I won't get into too many specifics. I did take some notes at the screening last night. Now, the film, it kind of opens up on a little bit of a Skype conversation, so we get to see a little bit of the dynamic relationship between Franco and Deutch's character, or Deutch's character. Not exactly sure how you pronounce her name. But we get to see a little bit of the chemistry that they have. It's implied that they have been in this relationship for a while now, especially the way that they are talking to each other and the manner that they are. But the ending was very funny. And I got to say, as far as the R rating goes, it definitely earned it. There were so many F-bombs dropped in just the first 3 minutes. It wasn't even funny. Now, as opposed to where it was like Sausage Party, where it was blatantly obvious, that's just the character Laird that Franco is playing. He is just that open and free-hearted, so he consistently curses. So this wasn't cursing just to curse, it was cursing because that's who his character is. He's just that way. Now, also going along the lines of the son, who was played by Griffin, Gluck. You guys might know him of being in the film High School Worst Years of My Life. At first, I thought he was a little bit cheesy. I thought he was going to be the typical, run-of-the-mill Boy Scout who is trying to win his dad's approval and whatnot, and it just wants to be just like his dad. But throughout the film, we get a couple of sub-layer of plots, with him and why he acts the way he does, and essentially what he wants to do with his character and what he wants to do with his life. And then, of course, his interactions with Franco as well were fantastic. They just kept rapid firing off all kinds of curse words. I won't go into too many specifics about that because this is a non-spoiler review. Megan Mullally's character, I gotta say, I loved her in this film. She was perfect casting, as well as Bryan Cranston's other half of the wife. Now, you guys might not know her. She's from the show Will and Grace, so depending on when you were born, you might have not seen the show, but it was actually a pretty funny show. But I gotta say, she was also an asset to this film as well. And then, of course, Keegan-Michael was the surprise hit in this film. Everything that he is in is so funny. I said this in Keanu. He was extremely funny. He was extremely funny. And here, he was extremely funny as well. But then at the same time, the way he was doing his accent and the way he was portraying himself as his character that he was playing, as this guy's, I want to say, he might as well say his wingman / his trainee. He always kept Franco's character on his toes, but he had a really good heart. and always wanted to see Franco's character succeed in whatever he did. Now, getting to some of the negatives that I had about the film, I did feel like there was an excessive use of profanity from the other characters. Again, Laird, played by Franco, it was part of his character, but some of the other characters, I felt like they were just going there just to go there. I felt Bryan Cranston, he had some really funny comedic moments by himself and with Megan Mullally and with James Franco as well. But I felt like sometimes some of his humor was a bit dry and it wasn't all the way there. But that was kind of, replaced with the tender moment that he had. One of the other things that I really kind of didn't like about the film was the unnecessary cameos. There were a lot of cameos in here from other people, and I felt like they were kind of unnecessary because they didn't go anywhere. There was only one, maybe two cameos in here that actually went somewhere and actually moved the story forward. Everything else, was just there just to be there. Kind of like in certain films where they throw in certain actors and be like, hey, do you remember him from this film? Or hey, do you remember him from this show? And they just throw it in just to throw it in. And other than that, again, I enjoyed the film overall. I thought it was a fantastic film. There were a lot of funny, awkward moments between Cranston and Franco. All the characters, I felt like they were well fleshed out and got well developed. The comedic timing was off here and there at certain points, but it was still fantastic and great. Overall, I'd have to give this film, as far as a score, out of 10, I'm going to give this film an 7.5 out of 10. It was still a overall fantastic film. It wasn't a bad film. It didn't run long. Plus, like I said, the ending, I thought it was going to go one way and it completely didn't go that way. And I'm so glad that it didn't, because most romantic comedies films kind of end up playing out that certain way. And again, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. But let me know down in the comment section below, what did you think of this review and what did you think of the film? Have you seen any of the trailers or promotional material? Oh, one other thing I got to note about this film that I like what they're doing is what they're doing with their promotional material, whether it's being able to put Laird's tattoos on his back or what they've been posting with the little 30-second clips here and there on their Facebook page. I like what they've been doing with that. That's kind of similar to what Deadpool did. So it seems like they're essentially trying to replicate what Deadpool did with that little bit of lightning in the bottle. And I gotta say, I think it kind of helped out a little bit because there were a lot more people at this screening than I thought it was gonna be. If you like this review, please make sure you thumb it up. It helps out the channel immensely. Also, please make sure you share and subscribe to this channel for more movie reviews like this. And hey, check out the film. I do recommend you seeing this in theaters. It's definitely a film you can check out in theaters, but if you miss it, it'll make one heck of a Netflix and chill night. And before I forget, I gotta drop in some hashtags that I told a buddy of mine that I would drop in. And once you see the film, you'll kind of understand why. Hashtag blessed, hashtag no clowning, and of course, hashtag moose nuts. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope you all have a blessed day.